on, everybody? It's your favorite Fett here to talk about the losing Baltimore Orioles. After my long absence due to the SkiveWalker's wedding, I am back. A couple things I want to get into beforehand. Like I've been saying, the Orioles are headed towards a 100-loss season, if not on pace to have the worst season in franchise history, if not the worst season in Major League Baseball history. So, without further ado, let me talk about these sweeps real quick. So, let's start with Game 1. They're playing the Angels. Number one storyline. We don't want Pujols to get his 3,000th hit versus us. You know, we let Jeter have a gift wrap on his last series against us. Let's not make it the same for Pujols, right? Well, Game 1, they lost 3-2. They kept it close. Dropped them to 8-21. I was watching this game, and I had the pleasure to watch Brock come out of the bullpen in the ninth, and he blew it. He flat out soft-served. He soft-served a pitch to the hitter, and dude took him yard, and the Orioles lost. Even though in the ninth they come back on a Manny Machado double and an Adam Jones single, which got Machado home. Ties the game up 2-2. You know, we bring Brock into the game. Brock gets about a batter down, and then he just soft-serves some ice cream. And, the Angels took him home. Excuse me. So Brock is the ugly taking the L in the ninth. The bad, Alex Cobb's been better. He still isn't great. He went 6 innings pitched. He gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, only 2 Ks. That's my bad. We still had 6 strikeouts at bat. The good I have here is, hey, the bats fought back. The bottom of the ninth combo of Machado and Jones. Bats, they went 10 for 35, so I can't really talk crap. Machado was 2 for 4, and we got Mark Trumbo back. We finally got a guy who can play, right field, DH, first base. So that helps us a little bit, being able to move Pedro Alvarez the third until Scoop comes back and Beckham. Just all types of injuries for the Orioles. Not the excuse on why they're losing. They're just not performing well. So they lose Game 1, 3-2. Game 2, they lost, dropping them to 8-22. They lost 10-7. They scored 5 runs in the ninth. Thought the comeback was mounting. Thought everything was going to happen. But sure enough, it did not. They lose 10-7. The ugly was Bundy, as he only went 4.1 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, 5 earned runs, and 4 Ks. Every pitcher that entered this game gave up at least a run. That includes the bullpen guys. So that was my ugly. The bats, they went 10 for 34, which is, I had it labeled as a good in the game above. But when you're, playing behind and you're losing 10-2, I guess that's not exactly the best way to win a ball game, is to start hitting the ball in the ninth inning. So these guys, Chris Davis with another strikeout. Woo! Paying for that. Looking good, Duquette. Machado was my good with his 2 RBIs. Trumbo went 2 for 4 in his second game back, and we scored 5 runs in the ninth. But they still lose 10-7. Game 3, they just got hammered. As you guys can tell, I'm not going in depth with this because at this point, I'm a little upset with the organization on a management standpoint as well as a player standpoint. Not really upset at Buck. Not really upset at Manny, Jones, some of these other guys. But from a Duquette standpoint, it's like, what are you doing, man? You're spiraling down. I guess they're waiting to ship Machado off until right before the trade deadline because that's when teams get the most desperate. And their asking price for Machado, who would be a rental player, who he probably wouldn't re-sign with who we traded him to, is too high. So here we are still looking at, mid-May, beginning of May, and, we're the worst team in baseball. And got myself off track on my rant. So let's crawl back into it. They lose Game 3, 12-3. They fall to 8-23 on the year. The Angels complete the sweep. My my phrase for this game was Tillman does Tillman things. And that means you go 1 inning pitch to give up 7 hits, 7 earned runs. You don't have any strikeouts. He's the bad. If there's a bad .2, Miguel Castro comes in, pitches 2.1 innings, gives up 4 hits, 4 earned runs. So overall, they just got smashed. On the mound, the bats were 8 for 34, which is pretty ugly. Chris Davis had his normal K. The bats gave 5 Ks up themselves, 5 strikeouts. But the key thing here is the Orioles did not give up Pujols' 3,000th hit. That's the good. When that is your good for a game, you know your team's terrible. And at this point, the only thing positive I have to say is Machado going 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. They get swept by the Angels. I mean, I didn't really have much hope for them. I wanted them to steal a game. I sure didn't want to get swept, but I got some stats for the end of the podcast that'll make you guys think. Okay, turning page, game 1. Okay, it's a West Coast road trip. They were in Los Angeles to play the Angels, and now they go play the Oakland A's. They lose to the Oakland A's the first game 6-4. Brock took another L as he came in. They just gave up the runs, but they fall to 8-24. The bad is the bats, 9 for 35 with 11 strikeouts. Only one of them, Chris Davis, but the bats still 11 strikeouts at the plate. Cashner was the bad as he went 4.2 innings pitched, gave up 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 Ks, and 2 home runs. Comeback was mounted in the 6th inning, and it fell short as they didn't get any more runs the rest of the game, and they lose. Adam Jones was the highlight, going 3 for 4 with a home run. Can't win the close ball games. And you're an Orioles fan or you're not an Orioles fan and you're listening to this, you know in baseball that you got to win the close games, whether it's by 1 run, 2 runs, 3 runs, 4 runs. In my opinion, if you were down by 4 runs or less, you were in that ball game till the very end. Because a grand slam, you can still earn all that back. Or is the probability of that game you're going to win sliding down the whole game? Yes. But you're always in that. Even till the bottom of the 9th, there's still miracles that happen. Game 2, the Orioles lose 2-0. They drop to 8-25. They go into extra innings, but their 20 strikeouts at the plate caused them to lose. That's the ugly. The bats, 7 for 41, 20 strikeouts, and good old Chris Davis had 3 of them. My bad is Ariando came out of the pen, gave up the home run to the other Chris Davis, the one that doesn't strike out every time he's up to the plate. That was the bad, but can't be mad at him, man. He was called into a late inning game, and the bats weren't hitting, and nobody was doing anything except striking out. The good I have is Trumbo. He went 2 for 5. And Gosman, 9 innings pitched, 2 hits, 6 Ks, no runs allowed. A gem from Gosman. What happens? He doesn't get run support. We continue the losing streak as now it hits 5, and the Orioles are 8-25 at the end of this game. Not a lot can be said that I haven't said in my previous podcast regarding the Orioles and the bats. Either the pitching is ice cold and sucks, or the bats, like this night, 20 Ks, 7 for 41. 7 for 41. For G's sake, you would think somebody would call a bunt out to get somebody on base or play small ball in this situation, but no. Slugging for the fences and causing windmills of air to just drift into the field and cool off the infielders. Just atrocious. Game 3, the A's complete the sweep. The Orioles lose 2-1. They fall to 8-26 on the year. The ugly, the bats, 3 for 29. Chris Davis had 2 of the 9 strikeouts. The bad was Machado going 0 for 3 and 9 strikeouts at the plate. Like I said, Chris Davis is part of the ugly as he had 2 Ks and combined bats were 3 for 29. The good is Cobb is showing signs of coming back to becoming a halfway decent pitcher as he goes 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 earned, 5 Ks. And the only other good thing I have for this is Pedro's home run. So if you're listening to this, all right, the Orioles get swept on their West Coast trip. They lose to both California teams in the AL West. My mind is, I've gotten to the point now where it's becoming increasingly difficult to watch my baseball team. And this time of the year, when normally I have the Pittsburgh Penguins to fall on, who just took a loss in the second round of the Capitals, and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the NFL draft, which just concluded a week ago, 2 weeks. I mean, it's tough sledding for me. It's going to be a tough summer. It might be one of the toughest summers ever because, the Penguins got bounced. I don't have hockey to cheer me up, so now I got to focus everything I have on baseball and basketball. But I guess that just means I'm going to have to dig a little deeper into football with the Ravens to see what I can produce and see what happens. But what an embarrassment. You're 8-26. Technically, they're 8-27 at the recording of this because they got destroyed by the Royals. I'm not even going to go there. Don't even want to hit on that yet because the wound is freshly opened. Let me just run some stats for you guys. On the West Coast trip, they were 0 for 6. They gave up 35 runs. They scored 17. They accumulated 40 strikeouts at the plate against the A's, and they had 17 against the Angels. So a combined 57 strikeouts in 2 3-game series. I mean, I don't know. I haven't crunched the stats hard enough to see if there has been a worse hitting team than the Orioles at this point in the year, but we did receive some good news today with Scoop coming off the DL. He's going to report to Frederick for a rehab assignment before coming back up, so that helps. And that means we will finally be speeding towards being healthy. Him and Trumbo coming back are going to be huge. Another thing, I sound real negative and I sound like a hater, but these games that we're losing are close. Are they going in our favor? No, not at all. But they're losing them close. If you want to go back to this whole year, all right, all 35 games they've played so far, the Orioles have lost 9 games by 2 runs or less. And if you're going to go by my analogy, which is 4 runs, they have lost 17 games by 4 or less runs. I mean, think about that. Baseball is one of those games where a play can make it or break it. So 9 wins. 9 wins puts us at, 17 wins. I mean, and we're about 500. So, I mean, it's the worst start I've ever witnessed in my young Orioles fandom. But like I said, what do we really have to hold? What, we took 3 out of 4 from the Yankees right now? Is that what Duquette's trying to make it to Memorial Day before he starts shopping the team off? I think Duquette needs tossed out of there. He's terrible. Like, the whole management team needs to just go. It needs a clean house. If you're going to let Manny walk, then you need to just recycle everybody because I'm at the point now where I'm wondering if it's worth it to let Duquette stay and let him have another crack on it. It's not. I kind of want to see what the Astros did. Like, they were bad for what, 4 or 5 years? And then look at them now. They're World Series champs, and they have a good chance at reclaiming that this year. I mean, it's going to be tough with the Yankees and the Red Sox in the AL, but it's embarrassing to watch the product on the field right now. You got Chris Davis who can't hit anything. You got your, Jekyll Hyde love affair going on with your starting pitching and bullpen. It just doesn't get easier. So this was my review of the West Coast road trip for the Orioles and how hard it was to watch and pay attention to over the weekend. Congratulations to my boy SkiveWalker on a beautiful wedding, with a beautiful bride, my sister, and I'm sure he'll add in some good positive Yankee news if you're a Yankees fan because the Yankees are on a tear. And without further ado, take it away, Mr. Austin.
Thanks, Fett. What is going on, guys? SkiveWalker here, and that is correct. The New York Yankees, guys, they're on a tremendous run. I'm not going to go and break down every single game because, as you know, it's been a lot of dubs. Yankees are looking good. Yankees are looking like the team that they were supposed to be at the beginning of the year. They're setting the most recent stretch that we're talking about. They are 17-1 in their last 18 games, the best since 1953. 1953. Put it this way, it was so long ago. 7 of those wins back in 1953 came off of Satchel Paige. Yes, Satchel Paige. The Satchel Paige. That's how long it's been since the Yankees have won 17 of their last 18 games. Guys, we haven't seen this kind of play from the Yankees since 1998, where they're just fun, energetic. Last year was fun. Last year was great. But nobody really thought us to be a threat. Even Yankee fans, when we were in the ALCS, we were more just happy to be there more than anything. But this recent stretch, this unbelievable run, is unlike anything I've seen. I was alive during 1998. I don't remember the World Series. I still know everybody talking about the buzz of how great that team was and how much fun that team was. I do remember 2009. 2009 was so much fun. The first World Series I can remember was 2001, and the only game I remember that is Game 7, when the Yankees just completely choked that one away, and I was really hoping they would win that one right after 9/11. But guys, this is just an unbelievable run. Like I said, I'm not going to break down every single game, but this team here in 2018 is the team I thought that we would get. Giancarlo Stanton is batting .293 now. He's starting to hit again, and if Giancarlo Stanton starts to hit, and Judge continues to hit, and Didi continues to hit, and Gary Sanchez is still the best offensive catcher in baseball, there's nobody going to beat this team. Nobody. Nobody. We just took 3 out of 4 from Houston. Now, it is very early. A lot of things can happen. It's still May. Still a lot of baseball to be played. But it is always nice to start off very hot. Now, the biggest thing here is let's take this momentum and take it right into October. If we just play good baseball throughout the summertime, we have some fun, we have some laughs, we take the division from the Red Sox because nobody likes Boston, nobody likes the Red Sox. You always want to be playing your best game, your best baseball, best basketball, best football into the playoffs. You always want to do that. The Yankees are peaking and they're riding high right now. If they don't take this in the postseason, it's going to be very difficult. This is the best you're probably going to see the Yankees all year until the playoffs if they start this magical run again. I'm enjoying every minute of it. I mean, they really are just must-watch TV. I don't like to say that very often, but it really is must-watch TV. If you are just thinking about getting into baseball and want to maybe just see if you have any interest in it, this is the team you want to watch because at any time they can come back and win the game. I mean, just put it this way. Let's go back to last night's game. I'm recording this on May 10th, so May 9th. Boston goes up. Okay? They go up by 1. And it's the 8th inning. We get a double by Neil Walker. Goes to third base. Gleyber Torres comes up and draws a walk. We have runners on first and third. Craig Kimbrell comes in the game in the 8th inning with runners on first and third. The Yankees as a whole in their entire lineup were 3-30 career lifetime against Craig Kimbrell. 3 for 30. That is terrible. They also had 3 RBIs. Giancarlo Stanton had one of those hits and one of those RBIs 7 years ago in his first year as a Miami Marlin. 7 years ago. So a team that's 3-30, you think, crap, here we go. You know what happens? Brett Gardner, who had a game, he's had a pretty rough start to the year, but he had himself a game. He just hits a nice triple over Mookie Betts' head. He is the ESPN SportsCenter love affair right now, and it just makes me vomit. Loved watching him chase that ball. Gardy goes to third. Gleyber Torres comes in for the lead run. The Yankees go up by 1. Who comes up next to the plate? Mr. All Rise himself, Aaron Judge, hits a 2-run bomb to straightaway center field and puts the Yankees up 9-6. And then the best closer in baseball, Aroldis Chapman, comes in, gives up 1 hit, but has 3 strikeouts. If I remember seeing the stat correctly, in 18 games, Aroldis Chapman has 36 Ks. That's just unbelievable. The Yankees as a whole are just on a tear. The starting pitching combined ERA is barely above 2. The bullpen makes it like a 2.20 ERA total for all the pitchers. It's just unbelievable. So I'm just going to recap just a couple games. What makes this team so much fun. So on May 3rd, going all the way back then, which was not that long ago, about a week ago, against the Houston Astros, your defending World Series champions, the Yankees have a 3-run ninth. Gleyber Torres hits a 2-run single. Judge brings home the winning run on a fielder's choice. Aroldis Chapman came in and closed it down. May 4th, against Cleveland, on my wedding day, Miguel Andujar, who else but a baby bomber, walk-off double, wins that game again. May 5th, the Indians and the Yankees had a great game with the rookie Jerron, with his first career start, and Trevor Bauer just pitching absolute gems. It was fantastic to watch. Great games by both pitchers. The Yankees ended up winning that one. Cody Allen really bombed that one. But May 6th, Gleyber Torres, again off Cleveland, hits a walk-off 3-run homer to center field. That kid is unbelievable. He truly is special. He's going to be a superstar in this league. But I will tell you a little bit of story and tell you that I kind of was a sour fan at this game. So I'm driving to New York. Went to New York this weekend. Went to visit my dad out in New Jersey. Went to see some of my family out there. As I'm driving into town, I'm listening to the Yankee game on MLB At Bat, because I don't know what the New York stations are right off the top of my head, right? Listening to the game, the Indians go up 4-0. I'm like, this game's over. It is what it is. The Indians are a great team. It's only a matter of time before they broke out. I mean, for you Indians fans, there's no need to worry. Your team always starts off slow. You're a second-half team. You guys will be fine. So I'm thinking, all right, so the Indians are a good team. They just got a number that game. So I'm driving, and I get updates. It's 4-1, 4-3. Then it was 4-4. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Really? So I'm driving. I'm in PA. I'm stopped in traffic. And I'm trying to get this thing to load back up. And of course, since I'm stuck in traffic, it just happens to be in the spot where I don't have very good reception. And then the next notification on my phone is Gleyber Torres hits a 3-run home run. So I didn't even get to listen to it. Oh, I was so mad at myself. But very excited that the Yankees ended up getting the win. Going back to May 9th. So last night, like I had already talked about, 2-run triple by Gardy, 2-run bomb from Aaron Judge. You just could not wipe these guys. You can't take these guys out. I can go all the way back to April 27th against the Los Angeles Angels. Didi hit a home run in the 10th. His 10th home run, and he hit it on the year, hit it in the 10th inning. So here's just a couple more notes, and I'm going to get out of here. Luis Severino is officially a top 5 pitcher in baseball. He struggled against the Houston Astros. The last time he pitched against them, he only threw his first complete game, and it was a shutout against one of the best lineups in baseball. Now, even though we took 3 or 4 from Houston, Houston probably has the best starting 5 in all of baseball. They are truly amazing. You can go Verlander, McCullers. Then you go right to Dallas Keuchel, who's struggling this year, but Keuchel's a very good pitcher. They're just very good. They don't give up a whole lot of breaks. It is what it is. They're going to be tough to beat in October. So is Cleveland. Cleveland has that 1-2 punch in Kluber and Carrasco. Trevor Bauer's been pitching amazing. Mike Clevenger's been pitching amazing. Their bullpen's a little shaky right now, but everybody has those times where they go through struggles. It is what it is. The bullpen's really keeping Cleveland back right now. They'll get to it. Now, Luis Severino is definitely a top 5 pitcher in baseball. There's no more denying it. It is what it is. He is one of the best. He may be the second best in the American League. Possibly even the best. I would take Luis Severino against Chris Sale. Chris Sale is a very dominant pitcher. Luis Severino, very dominant pitcher. I'm still thinking Kershaw is the best pitcher in the game. Still will always take Kershaw as the best pitcher in the game. But right now, Luis Severino in the American League, you can argue Chris Sale. You can argue Corey Kluber. I'm more than happy to listen to every argument. Everybody has their own opinions on it. And Corey Kluber's probably the number 1 pitcher in the American League, if I had to be completely honest. But Luis Severino's right there. Luis Severino's going to be pushing for a Cy Young this year. Aroldis Chapman is the best closer in baseball. How can you adjust? It's so ridiculously difficult. If he is on throwing 100 to 103 mile an hour fastballs, even if his slider is not moving all that great, how do you adjust from a 103 mile an hour fastball to an 87 mile an hour slider that moves? Even if it just moves just a little bit, that 16 mile an hour degree drop is too much to handle. It's just unbelievable. It's ridiculous. It is what it is. Good luck facing Aroldis Chapman in the 9th inning. I will always take him in the 9th. Didi Gregorius is a top 3 shortstop in baseball. You have Didi, Francisco Lindor, Carlos Correa, probably the best 3 shortstops in the league. Right now, I guess Manny Machado. Sorry, Fett. He did move to short. Okay, so you have Manny Machado in there. This season, at this point in the season, it's hard not to take Didi Gregorius. It really is. If you're talking about overall, Manny Machado is probably the best one. He's the most accomplished, best power hitter, best contact hitter, best fielder, best all-around shortstop in the league. But right now, the way that we're sitting here on May 10th, Didi Gregorius right now is playing better baseball than probably all of those guys. Manny Machado has a very good argument. Frankie Lindor has a very good argument. Correa's been playing all right. I know. I have him on my fantasy team. Him and Didi are both on my fantasy team. Didi's had a better year. Didi will continue to have a better year. He's just a clutch hitter. And when you put him between Judge and Stanton in the lineup, you pick your poison. You're gonna pick the pitch to Didi Gregorius. So Didi is a top 3 shortstop in baseball. Gleyber Torres is a future all-star. The guy is a future superstar. When he first came up, he got, the major league game was a little exciting for him. I mean, it's everybody's major league. If you played baseball, it was probably your dream to play in the major leagues. His first home game, his first couple games, he was probably excited on the atmosphere. I mean, probably couldn't even believe he was there. But now that he settled into the big leagues, the guy has ice in his veins. The guy is unbelievable. The big moments, he rises up. He's like Derek Jeter 2.0. Whether people want to admit that or not, the guy is just big under pressure. He's good without the pressure, but he gets better with the pressure. He's unbelievable. Hey, and I'm going to continue to say this because this is great. Boston had a 7.5 game lead in the East, and now they're down 1. They're in second. Oh, I hate Boston. Oh, it's so good to see them in the second division, and the Yankees going for the sweep tonight. Oh my goodness, isn't it amazing to see Boston go down and Boston choke away that lead. CC Sabathia has been amazing on this run. Coming back from injury, I figured he would struggle a little bit. Nah, he just picked up the ball and just went like CC goes. I really hope we do win this year, and I hope CC goes out a champion. He said if the Yankees win, he's going to retire. I believe that's the way that he should go out. Go out a World Series champ, big boy. Go out there, big fella. Go win us one more World Series, and then go enjoy the rest of your life, whatever you want to do. The guy's been truly phenomenal. The way he's just evolved his game. He's pitching like he was back in the day. Not when he was throwing those 95-mile-an-hour heaters, but just being one of the most dominant pitchers in baseball, but doing it in a different way, in a crafty way. He's actually turned into a true, legit pitcher, not just a thrower like he was when he was younger. Sonny Gray, his last couple starts have been fantastic. Hey, I knocked him a little bit, said he was struggling. I figured he'd come back. He's proven me true. Guy's coming back into form, throwing more fastballs, throwing more cutters. He's looked amazing. Guys, to wrap it up, here's the teams that we've beaten on the 17-1 stretch where it's not been a fluke. We beat Toronto. That one, Toronto's not very good. Minnesota was a playoff team last year. Now they're under 500 this year. That whole American League Central division is possibly the worst division in baseball right now. So they're struggling, but they were a playoff team a year ago. They're still a very solid team. They don't even have Irvin Santana back yet. And they're still kind of floating right around the division. Cleveland, you better pick it up. When they get Irvin Santana back, they're going to be tough to beat. The LA Angels have been a very good team this year. Houston, as we all know, the defending World Series champs. We beat them 3 out of 4. Cleveland just went to the World Series 2 years ago. We faced them in the ALDS last year and took it to 5 games. One of the best teams in baseball. We swept them. Boston, we all know that they came out to that hot start. Now they're number 2 in the division. And so we beat them, and now we're going for the sweep. We go for that tonight. Beat Boston already 2-3. We already won the series. Man, would it be great to sweep. But guys, start spreading the news. The Yankees are looking like a legit team. And like I said, it is May. It is very early, and there still is a lot of baseball to be played. But guys, when this team looks this dominant and this good, and they have a very, very good farm system, probably top 5 in baseball, if they ever needed to fill a hole, like at first base where Greg Bird is still hurt, Tyler Austin been playing okay, still not the production you need out of a first baseman. If Greg Bird is still struggling, you can go trade for like an Eric Hosmer, or you can go trade for a first baseman that is a legitimate first baseman and plug that hole. Maybe plug in another starting pitcher if Tanaka starts to struggle, or Sonny Gray starts to struggle, or Montgomery starts to struggle when he comes back off the DL. There's so many options and so many pieces that the Yankees can use. This team is just, it's unbelievable. Like, they've been playing the best baseball, like I said, since 1953, and they can get better. That's what's scary. They can get better. It's just unbelievable. Nothing but good things to say about the New York Yankees. Fed, I'm sorry that your Orioles are looking rough, but there's always room on the Yankee bandwagon if you want to root for my pinstripes along with me this year. That way you have something to look forward to this summer. Other than that, guys, that's all I got for you. SkiveWalker signing off. Peace!